If you stop trying to impress her, she might finally notice you. Sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? You've been told your whole life, be nice, be available, be supportive. But if you've ever done everything right and still watched her pull away, you know something doesn't add up. Here's the truth most men never hear. She's not drawn to the man who gives the most. She's drawn to the man who needs the least. Not because he's cold, but because he's centered. In this video, we're going deep into 10 hidden female psychological triggers, ones they rarely talk about, but deeply respond to. These aren't tricks, they're truths. Rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom and backed by modern psychology. If you're tired of chasing, pleasing, and performing, and ready to attract from a place of grounded power, this might be the most important video you watch this year. Let's break the patterns. Let's reclaim polarity. Let's redefine what it means to be a high-value man, without losing your soul in the process. 1. The Unshakable Man. Why stability is rare and irresistible. She doesn't just want a man who stands tall, she wants a man who doesn't fall apart. In a world where even your morning coffee order changes daily, emotional consistency has become a lost art. The average man today is hyper-reactive to texts, to tone, to tension. He ghosted her because she didn't reply fast enough. He spiraled because she canceled plans. But the man who doesn't waver, who responds with clarity instead of chaos, that man rewires her nervous system. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about being anchored. She's testing, often unconsciously, whether your emotional center belongs to her approval or to something deeper. A Stoic man doesn't let his peace get hijacked. He can sit with discomfort. He can hear hard truths without raising his voice. He can love without losing himself. And in a sea of anxious overthinkers, that is rare energy. And rare energy gets remembered. Being unshakable also means you're not emotionally outsourcing. You don't look to her moods to define yours. You don't rise and fall with every shift in her energy. That detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. And when she senses you remain whole, whether she stays or walks away, that you're not playing to keep her but showing up in truth, you become a gravitational force she wants to orbit. 2. Confidence without costume. The silent signal. She can't ignore. Real confidence is what walks in 5 seconds before you do. Confidence is often confused with charisma, but charisma can be taught, performed, fabricated. Real confidence? It leaks from your body language, your ability to hold eye contact without blinking, the way you say no without explaining yourself, the way you don't rush to fill the silence. In today's culture of filters and flexing, this kind of quiet confidence feels like standing in front of a bonfire after years of blue light screens. It warms her, grounds her, and unsettles her. In the best way. You don't need to impress her. You need to impress upon her that your validation comes from within, that your posture, your choices, your voice are yours, because nothing says, "I've done the work," like a man who doesn't try to convince you. You become more attractive when you aren't looking for someone to confirm that you are. Confidence isn't being right all the time. It's being okay when you're not. It's walking into a room and not needing to dominate the space because your energy already did. That kind of ease is magnetic. It doesn't shout, it invites. And in that quiet confidence, she feels safer than any scripted pickup line could ever provide. 3. Purpose over performance. The undeniable pull of a man on a mission. When you're locked in on your path, she can't help but look for a way to walk beside you. Purpose is no longer optional. In the chaos of modern dating, with algorithmic matches, endless swipes, and dopamine hijacks, clarity is king. A man with purpose is not easily pulled. He's not shaken by unanswered texts or last-minute plan changes. His mission is the fire in his gut, the direction in his eyes. Women feel this. They don't need you to explain your goals in bullet points. They need to feel that your life has a North Star and you're walking toward it regardless of who joins. This isn't hustle culture. This is alignment. A man in motion doesn't need to pursue. He becomes the gravity. And when your life has momentum, it naturally creates polarity. You're no longer seeking approval. You're filtering who aligns. Women sense this shift immediately. You're not a drifter, hoping someone gives you direction. You're a builder, a creator, a man with a mission. Your presence shifts from needy to intentional, and that's when she knows. You're not looking for her to complete your story, but to walk alongside it if she's ready. The mystery she can't solve, how to stay intriguing in a world of oversharing. Tell her everything too soon, and she'll have nothing left to discover. In a culture obsessed with instant intimacy, mystery has become misunderstood. We confuse openness with transparency, and transparency with connection. But the truth is, not everything deserves immediate access. When a man reveals all too early, his wounds, his dreams, his entire timeline, he removes any sense of anticipation. He's no longer a story unfolding, he's a brochure. Mystery, at its core, isn't about being aloof. It's about pacing. It's about honoring your own complexity enough not to spill it for cheap validation. Let her sit in silence with you and feel your weight. Let her leave the date with questions, not concerns. The mind craves resolution, and when you're not instantly understood, you live longer in her thoughts. In a world where everyone is broadcasting their inner world 24/7, your restraint makes you feel like the last real man standing. 5. Selective attention. Why giving less makes you worth more. You can't be her prize if you act like her fan. You know what's easy? Validation. You know what's rare? Discernment. When a man gives his energy to everything and everyone, his attention means nothing. But when he's intentional, when he observes before engaging, when he responds instead of reacts, he separates himself from the crowd. It's not about playing games. It's about having standards. Selective attention tells her, my energy is valuable, and I don't give it just to be noticed. I give it when I'm genuinely compelled. She doesn't want to feel chased. She wants to feel chosen. There's a difference. When you observe more than you praise, when you praise what you truly notice, not what you think she wants to hear, she listens. Because now, your words carry weight. Your silence becomes signal. And your presence becomes a reward, not a routine. 6. Preselection. How social proof sparks. Her primitive brain. She may not admit it, but if other women want you, she suddenly does too. We like to think attraction is personal, rational, isolated, but evolutionary biology laughs at that notion. Preselection isn't about dating multiple women. It's about being a man who women naturally gravitate toward. It's about energy, not entourage. When you're the kind of man who moves with purpose, who treats women with respect but never pedestalizes them, who lives with integrity and warmth. Women notice, and other women notice them noticing. It's primal, it's subconscious, and it works. You don't need to orchestrate it. Just be immersed in a life filled with quality people. You'll stop needing to prove your worth because your environment already speaks for you. She doesn't need to hear that you're desirable. She needs to feel that you are. And nothing signals value louder than being quietly, consistently chosen by women you don't need to pursue. 7. Masculinity Reimagined. Why calm strength is the new alpha. She doesn't need a man who roars. She needs a man who doesn't flinch. Real masculinity isn't aggressive. It's grounded. It's not in your volume. It's in your silence. The modern man is often told to express everything. But the truth is, emotional expression without regulation is chaos. And nothing drains polarity faster than a man who dumps his emotional chaos onto a woman looking for his steadiness. A masculine presence feels like a fortress, not because you hide, because you contain. You don't suppress your feelings. You master them. You move through anger without explosion. You sit with sadness without collapse. And in doing so, you give her something she rarely feels in this world. Safety, direction, peace. That's not dominance, that's depth. And depth is what alpha always intended to mean. 8. Leading without controlling. The art of directional presence. She doesn't want to be bossed around, but she's tired of carrying the whole damn map. She's independent, yes, but she's also human, and humans, especially feminine ones, relax when they feel guided, not governed. Leading isn't about power, it's about clarity, initiative. A man who suggests instead of waiting, who organizes without asking for applause. When you lead well, she feels held without feeling trapped. She can surrender because she trusts you know where you're going, and that where you're going is built on purpose, not ego. Don't lead to impress, lead to relieve. Let your decisiveness be gentle. Let your direction be open. Let her choose you, fully aware that you're already choosing yourself. 9. Emotional intelligence, the secret sauce of lasting connection. She's not looking for a therapist, but she needs a man who can feel the room. Too many men think emotions are problems to be fixed, but emotions are messengers. And the man who listens to them without judgment becomes rare. You don't need to have the right words. You just need to be with her when she doesn't have hers. Emotional intelligence is the ability to read her tone, not just her text, to recognize when space is needed more than advice, to stay grounded when she's storming, not out of indifference but presence. When you reflect instead of react, when you ask instead of assume, you give her the things she craves but rarely finds. Connection without pressure, and in that you build trust. The kind of trust that sex can't buy and words can't fake. 10. Passion, the fire. She wants to be close too. Don't tell her you're passionate. Let her feel the heat. Passion isn't hype. It's direction fused with desire. A man with passion doesn't chase stimulation. He creates meaning. He isn't addicted to distractions because he's already obsessed with his own mission. When a man is deeply invested in something greater than himself, it shows in his posture, his tone, his presence. Women can feel when you're turned on by life. That spark is seductive, not because she wants to replace it, but because she wants to witness it, maybe even join it. When you're lit from the inside, you stop auditioning. You stop asking her to complete your story. Instead, you become the chapter she doesn't want to skip. So here's the shift. You don't win her over by being everything she asked for. You become unforgettable by being everything she didn't realize she craved. Not validation, not attention, but depth. You're not here to manipulate. You're here to master yourself, to become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase because he's too busy leading, living, loving with strength and space. Women aren't attracted to perfection. They're pulled toward presence. And when that presence is anchored in purpose, mystery, calm, and fire, you don't have to convince anyone of your value. They'll feel it. If this video stirred something in you, drop A in the comments. It's how you tell the world you're not just watching for entertainment, you're waking up. If you want more content like this, no fluff, no gimmicks, just truth, hit the like button, not just for the algorithm, but to signal that these values are worth spreading. And if you're not the kind of man who just scrolls through life, but someone who studies what transforms, then hit subscribe. Because here, we're not building egos. We're building men of depth. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs stillness with strength. Stay grounded, stay distinct, stay stoic.